We're going to cover two different ways of constructing a rhombus. So the first way is to make a line. So as you saw, I picked the line tool, and I'm going to make a line by dropping 2 points. Now a rhombus has all sides congruent, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the compass, which is the kind of thing we would do in geometry anyway, using our compass, and I'm going to measure the distance from B to A. So I know that circle has a radius of BA, and I'm going to drop it right at B. Now I'm going to do that same exact thing. I'm going to measure the distance from B to A, except this time I'm going to make a circle centered at A. I'm going to tell where they intersect, and I'm going to leave a point there. So I'm going to choose point, and I'm going to choose intersect, and that point's labeled C. Because they're circles of the same size, I know that CA and AB, if I were to draw the segments, would be congruent. My goal is to make a fourth point somewhere in the upper right, so I know that CD and BD would be congruent, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to choose the compass tool, and I'm going to measure the distance from A to C, and I'm going to center that circle right at C. So wherever circle C and circle B cross, I know they're equidistant as well. So I'm going to choose my intersect point, and I'm going to mark that point, point E, and all I have to do now is connect A to C to E to B back to A, and I'm going to have a rhombus. So I'm going to choose my segment tool, choose a different color, and I'm going to thicken that line so you can see what we're doing. But A to C, C to E, E to B, and B back to A. So there's a rhombus using the congruent sides technique. Well, let me show you what my students really like to do in geometry, because when I assigned it, I had something in mind, and then they all surprised me with a lot of insights, which is kind of nice as a geometry teacher. So, they made a line segment, and they went for the perpendicular bisector technique. Kind of surprised, but at the same time, they're really comfortable making big sweeps and then sweeping down through with a straight edge. So they would have picked a compass, and they would have measured A to B, and they would have left the circle centered at A. Then done the same exact thing, and they would have centered the circle at B. This time, instead of having a circle centered at one of their intersection points and sweeping, they chose to connect the two endpoints of the football. So I'm going to zoom out slightly. I'm going to mark the intersection point between the two circles, and I'm going to get 2 points, point C and point D, and they connect them. So they make a line CD. All they do now is they connect A to C to B to D back to A, because they know that the diagonals are perpendicularly bisecting each other, therefore it's a rhombus, and they know that AC and BC are congruent, and they know that BD and AD are congruent, and they have a whole lot of congruent sides and perpendicularly bisecting diagonals. So I'm going to choose segment, choose a different color, make sure that line is thick, and rhombus done 2 different ways.